Recently, on a Thursday trail camera highlights video, there was a short clip of an awful looking animal. In fact, you could tell this animal was sick. It only had 3 legs and it was missing fur. Now, in the comment section, there was a lot of discussion about what is wrong with the animal and what led it to be in this condition. Well, this is not the first time I've captured it on camera. So today I thought it'd be interesting to go back. I'm going to lay out a bit of a timeline of when I first captured this animal and the progression, the downhill progression of its disease and what led it to be in this condition. But in order to tell a story about a creepy looking animal that was captured on trail camera at nighttime, well, we got to set the mood.
Once upon a time, a dark, dark night, deep in the woods of Pennsylvania.
I'm kidding. It is not going to be that type of story. I'm simply going to lay out a timeline of all the different encounters that I've had with this coyote over the past several months, and I'm going to give you evidence of what I think happened to it and what led it to this condition. In fact, it is a young male coyote and it has mange. Now you can look up what mange is, but it's a mite that bites and infects the skin of different animals. Now obviously this coyote has an extremely bad case of mange, and unfortunately in wild animals that have mange this badly, it's usually fatal. But now let's go back to my first encounter. It was in the beginning of October. It's Pennsylvania's archery season. I was sitting in a ground blind filming my own hunt when I first saw this mangy coyote. Now, although I got great footage in the evening golden hour, I was sad to see this coyote in this condition. It obviously had a bad case of mange, it was losing its fur, and it had a lot of different scabs on its skin from the infection. Now, seeing this coyote in this condition can pull at your heartstrings. I'm not immune to that. I'm not a huge fan of coyotes, but I don't like seeing any animal suffer. But unfortunately, it's just the circle of life with wildlife. There's a lot of different predators and disease out there, and some survive and some don't. That's just a matter of fact. Now, as I already mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of coyotes, but I certainly don't like seeing one suffer. In fact, I can respect how good of a predator they are, how they can adapt to living nearly anywhere in the United States. I do enjoy capturing them on trail camera. And when you see a healthy coyote in the wild, it is quite magnificent animal. But now back to the story and the coyote at hand. So a few weeks later in October, my trail cameras captured this mangy coyote again. Again, it was in even worse condition. You can tell it was extremely bothered by the mange, and it was only a matter of time until nature ran its course. Now fast forward through the rest of October, November, December, January, there were no more sightings or captures on trail camera from this coyote. I assumed it succumbed to its injuries because of the lack of fur. As the winter set in and the temperatures got colder and colder, it had no fur. It had obvious scabs and it's prone to skin infections, and I assumed it succumbed to its injuries. But fast forwarding to the middle of February, I captured this coyote again. Unfortunately, it was in even worse condition than it originally was. At this point, it was missing a rear leg. Now, there's a lot of speculation about what might have happened. There's people that think it might have got caught in a trap or it chewed off one of its legs. Now, of course, there's no way to prove or disprove that, but in my opinion, I think the coyote lost its leg because of the mange. Now, as I already mentioned, mange causes skin irritation, scabs, and open sores. And in fact, if we throw back to that video in the middle of October, if you look at its right rear leg, right at the joint, it looks like there is a fairly large scab or open wound. I'm assuming that got infected and the lower part of its rear leg fell off. Again, it was sad seeing it, and you had to pity it for going through such a slow death. The next week, I captured the coyote on 2 different trail cameras, both during the daytime. At the end of February, the coyote yet again was captured on a different trail camera. And that leads us up to the middle of March on this latest capture. Now, the coyote is still in poor condition, but it does look like it survived the winter. It obviously is finding just enough to eat to try and survive. And although we had a couple of cold spells during this winter, overall, the vast majority was higher than normal temperatures. So I'd love to hear from you. What's your opinion? Do you think this coyote will continue to survive now that winter's behind us? Will it beat the odds of this terrible disease? So please leave me a comment down in the comment section. I realize this isn't the most joyful video or most enjoyable to watch, but it is the reality of wildlife and the struggles they go through. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.